In the quaint village of Eldenwood, evenings were a time of tranquility and reflection. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm, golden glow over the cobblestone streets, the village would come alive with a serene kind of magic. On one such evening, a young woman named Leela stood on the balcony of her small cottage, gazing out over the fields of lavender that stretched towards the distant hills. The sky was painted in hues of pink, orange, and purple, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the distant chirping of crickets. Leela had just returned from her work at the village apothecary, where she spent her days mixing herbs and crafting remedies for the townsfolk. The peaceful evening was a welcome respite, and she cherished these moments of quiet solitude. As she stood there, the village began to stir with its evening rituals. Lanterns were lit along the narrow streets, their warm light flickering gently in the soft breeze. The aroma of freshly baked bread wafted from the bakery, mingling with the earthy scent of the nearby forest. Families gathered in their homes, sharing stories and laughter over hearty meals. Leela's attention was drawn to the village square, where a group of children had gathered, their excited voices carrying through the still air. They were setting up for the evening's Firefly Festival, a beloved tradition in Eldenwood. Leela smiled, remembering how she had eagerly participated in the festival as a child, chasing after the glowing insects with a jar in hand. Feeling a wave of nostalgia, Leela decided to join the festivities. She made her way down the winding path from her cottage to the square, her heart light with anticipation. As she approached, she saw familiar faces, each one lit up with the joy and excitement of the evening. "Good evening, Leela," called out Mrs. Willow, the village baker, who was arranging trays of honey cakes and pastries on a nearby table. "Good evening, Mrs. Willow," Leela replied warmly. "The pastry smelled delicious." "Help yourself, dear," Mrs. Willow said with a wink. "It's a special night, after all." Leela took a honey cake and wandered over to the fountain at the center of the square, where she found her friend, Rowan, setting up lanterns. Rowan was the village blacksmith, his hands strong and skilled, but he always had a gentle smile for Leela. "Need any help?" Leela asked, taking a bite of her honey cake.